You're listening to Getting Real with Real Estate with Danielle Kempf and Jim Kempf, St. Louis's favorite father-daughter real estate team, with honest advice, local insights, and stories from the real world of real estate. Because smart real estate decisions start with real conversations.
Here we go again.
Let's get it.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the podcast.
All right. It's kind of springtime.
It's starting to feel like spring at least.
I know. It's getting, weather's starting.
Picking up.
Starting to get a little bit warmer.
Yeah. I'm here for it. Melt that snow off the ground.
Yeah, I'll tell you. My old bald head doesn't like that cold weather.
And he does own a couple stocking caps, so.
A couple dozen. But springtime, what does that mean?
Spring selling season.
Spring selling season and spring projects around the house. I know there's spring
and outside
cleaning.
the house.
Spring cleaning. I don't really like
you
that
need a
part.
spring clean.
I do need to shush. Talk about that.
We will talk about that.
But projects around the house, that's something to talk about.
That's a big something to talk about, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about kind of cost versus value of some kind of popular house projects. Things you can do to, obviously make your house worth more.
Mm-hmm. Maybe enjoy it a little bit more too.
That's a big, that's a really big difference too. There's some.
Your return on your investment versus the return on your enjoyment.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. So we'll talk about maybe a few of the top ones and kind of just, give you guys some feedback or some.
Our 2 cents.
Our 2 cents on good projects and.
Well, maybe to skip on.
Yeah. So,
but first.
Fun. So,
first.
You
were about to skip my joke.
We got to have a joke
My
today.
joke, which does always play into our topic.
We should have told the joke first, I guess. That could.
Well, we gave a tease first.
Okay.
So,
What's the
my
joke?
joke is, why did the handyman bring a ladder to the bar?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
He
the
brought-
handyman, a ladder at the bar?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I don't know why.
He heard drinks were on the house.
Like on the roof. Of the
Yeah,
house.
it took me a minute to get that one. I was like, what? It's on the roof. You need your ladder to get
That's
on
where
the
drinks
house.
are. I got it. Okay. Well, that's
You
good.
probably drank on a couple rooftops back in your day. But we won't talk about that on this podcast either.
I'll plead the fifth on that one. Thank you very little.
All right. So
we'll just I'm gonna
You start?
a couple highlights that we got from
we found
just-
a couple studies.
Yeah, just for 2025 cost versus value stuff. 8 out of the top 10 projects were exterior replacements. So
It's time for that. It's
talks
getting
about
warm.
curb. Yeah, but the importance of curb appeal is important,
Very
right?
true,
Making
yeah.
the house look good, because we all know when you go to sell a house, when somebody drives up to it, that's the first impression they get. So
Or even online, the first photo is usually the exterior.
Yeah, and even if you're not selling, it's just you want your neighbors to, right? When they
To be
drive by your
jealous
house, they go,
of the
"Oh,
nice
wow.
green grass."
Look at the Smith's house, right? Or the Joneses. Got to keep up with them. A backup power generator entered the top 10 of the list for the first time ever.
Interesting.
So that, probably, I don't know.
Just
I know
with
it's
weathers,
weather
kind of getting
issues.
as bad as they are, and
Yeah,
so that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah, so that one's kind of probably getting more and more.
Some more traction.
And then just a few of the projects, I guess, that kind of started hitting the top, I guess, say 20 or 25 on the list there. They talked about basement remodels and rooftop solar panels, which solar
we're starting
panels
to
are
see a
different.
bit.
We don't see a ton of those, but
No.
they're kind of getting to be a little bit more and more common.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting, I think, to me. Again, I'm not.
Alternative energy.
Yeah, I mean.
I think there's still some caveats in with it. We have a client or two who have solar panels, and it's just
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to one guy who they don't pay. They get money back in the summer.
Yeah, in the summer.
So I mean, it costs
when it's nice and sunny.
It costs a lot of money to put it in there, but they actually get money back on the utilities in the summer. So that's kind of cool. So take that for what it's worth.
Cool.
But okay.
And then, so one of the numbers I found that I thought was kind of interesting. Americans, we spent an estimated $603 billion with a B dollars in 2024 remodeling our homes.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
So all the handyman out there like that.
That's the handyman.
Unless you're a handy person, in which
Home
case,
Depot,
good for you.
Home Depot probably loves that.
Yeah.
Lowe's, all them places.
Menards.
Well, that's good. Well, that makes sense because, just recently we heard some statistics that people are staying in their homes longer.
11 years now, on average.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, if you're doing that, you're probably putting a little more money in it because you want to make it nice.
Or one thing
enjoy
my
it more.
mom always said, I asked her one day if the projects ever end around the house. She goes, no, you just redo what you already did.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, I mean when
When
think
she's
about
been
it,
there for 30 years, she's just redoing what they already did.
Yeah, you do a bathroom once every 10 years or so, and then
Yeah.
you just keep rotating rooms, I guess, right?
Yeah, she just got a new fence put in, so
There you go.
enjoying
Okay.
that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, do you want to talk about just like some specific projects that kind of like maybe a top 5 on a few lists, or how
Top
do you?
5 or
why don't
on
we-
what?
Well, let's.
Do we want to talk about Joy Score or
let's
the
talk about
return on
the
investments
return
first?
on investment
Return
first,
on
I
investment?
think, because let's just see
Let's
what
talk
that
about what
is.
to get you the biggest bang
Well,
for your buck before
you've
you
got-
talk about what you enjoy a little bit more.
Yeah, you've got the National Association.
Yep. So the National Association of Realtors and the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, they did a combined report for us, and so the top 5 for the top cost recovery for a remodeling project. So your biggest return on investment.
Yep, bang for the buck, we
Yep.
call it.
A new steel front door came in at 100%. Closet renovation at 83%. New fiberglass front door, 80%.
Wow.
New vinyl windows or new wood windows came in at number 4 and number 5, right at 74 and 71%.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have a report from the Journal of Light Construction.
Okay.
A garage door replacement
Ooh.
actually returned 268%, is what they say. An average cost of $4,600, and it returns a value of $12,500. That's a lot. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that number 100%, but just to
Maybe
give you some
agree
thought
on
starters.
200%.
Entry door replacement, I think it was on your list.
Yeah, the front door.
They say steel door is more, I guess, better than a wood, but whatever.
Yeah, or the fiberglass. It's more secure.
But that's essentially double your investment. Manufactured stone veneer, that's a
Ooh.
different one. That's about 200% of a return, which is kind of nice. Siding replacement, if you use fiber cement, like a hardy board or something, I guess that's going to be a little better than vinyl. Obviously.
Yeah, it's going to cost a little
Vinyl's
bit more.
gonna, yeah, that's definitely true. But vinyl's gonna, vinyl is up there as well, but not top 5. And then a minor kitchen remodel, so like a mid-range kind of. But they're talking about a job cost of $28,000. And that returns about 113% on a mid-range kitchen. Again, folks, keep in mind this is national numbers too. So, like, it might be obviously higher in some areas than it may be in St. Louis. But just, a minor kitchen remodel is the one thing I think about that I always think about with kitchens, especially when I used to renovate houses, was, we would put in a certain cabinets maybe.
Certain color.
Like we used to, back in the day, we used that kind of that ebony color. They were really beautiful cabinets. But, periodically you get somebody walk in there and they go, the first thing I do is replace those cabinets. So it's kind of sometimes when you do big things like that, it doesn't always return the money, and people just, it's a more of a
Depends
subjective.
who the buyer is.
Yeah, it's the taste of, right? You can't.
Do you want a wood cabinets? Do you want the white cabinets nowadays? Are the white cabinets fading out? Are they classic? Do you want some color? There's just so many choices with your cabinets nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is kind of fun. I mean, you can really make stuff your own there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that backup power generator we talked about on my list came in
That's
at number
smart.
7, actually, at about a 95% cost recovery, average cost of $13,500, and it returned about $13,000 in value. So that does make a lot more sense these days because, man, I know here when you get a bad snowstorm or a bad windstorm or a
power
tornado,
goes out.
yeah, it'd be nice to have power for sure. So
Yeah, especially, if you got like deep freezes in the basement or something and you don't want that food going to waste. Yeah, it makes sense there.
That's right. So, all right. Well, so let's talk about enjoyment. Maybe that's kind of
because that's
fun.
a little bit of two-sided conversation.
Yeah, but it's more fun, I think.
It is. You get to enjoy the hard work you put into it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's important.
Yeah.
I think.
So on the Joy Score from my National Association of Realtors, 3 of them tied at right at out of 10, 10 being most enjoyment, 0 being least enjoyment.
Yeah.
3 tied for number 1, right at 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so that was added primary bedroom suite, a
Okay.
kitchen upgrade, which you mentioned there,
Yeah. Yeah.
and a new roof
Yeah.
for the Joy Score.
That's good. Yeah. Yep.
Which is awesome. Right underneath that, a new bathroom renovation. Well, not new, just bathroom renovation.
Okay.
Came in at 9.8%. And then a complete kitchen renovation, right at 9.7. So those are the top 5.
That's out of 10, right? A score.
Yeah,
of 10.
out of
Right,
10.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 Okay. That's cool.
So those are the top ones there.
Well, that I think makes sense, of course, because right, that's the stuff you're enjoying. Most people spend a lot of time in their kitchens, right? They entertain.
Yeah.
So if you got a brand new kitchen to show off, that makes sense.
True.
Kitchen upgrade.
Yeah. A primary suite, if you have, a bathroom added to that, you have a private bathroom for yourself. We always say your little oasis after a long day at work.
Right. Keep the kids out of there.
Keep the kids out.
Right.
A new roof kind of surprised me as a joy score. Because I kind of equate like a roof to like your HVAC system, and it's
just like a necessary evil.
It's a necessary
Gotta
evil, and whenever you go to replace your your HVAC system, it's a good chunk of change you're putting down. But you don't really want to have a party to celebrate your new HVAC like you do your new kitchen rehab. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. But in St. Louis, especially with all the hailstorms that we got.
Right.
And it even helps your insurance a little bit too, having that new roof. So I get it, but I just thought it was.
Well, but every time, like for
interesting.
just me personally, like every time I would drive up to I got a new 3 years ago, I got a new roof, and just like every time you drive up to the house, you're like, oh, look at my new roof, and it just makes you feel good.
Makes you feel good.
I don't know, I'm a geek, I guess.
It's the adulting.
Whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not the funnest project, like you said. You're not going to throw a party.
You're not going to,
New roof party. Woo!
Even though you should with how expensive they are sometimes. You should have a party to celebrate
Amen to that. Especially if insurance pays for it. Then you could throw a party.
Then you really should have that party there.
That's better. So, all right. What do you want to I want to
So people, people want to do, their home renovations projects. And like we said, people are staying in their homes on average of 11 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of the projects are, I'm going to find my numbers real quick. It's kind of the primary reasons on why people are doing, home renovation projects.
That's good. What's that?
And so the first one is just 27% say, their upgrades were because of worn out surfaces, finishes, and materials. Things just get old over time.
Sure, yeah.
So you want to update those.
Yeah.
Second came in at improving energy efficiency.
Huh.
And then tied for third at 18% is either will sell in the next 2 years or it's just time for a change.
Huh, I'll be darned.
And so
I get, the sell part of it makes sense to us, of course, because we're realtors. But
and if things are a little worn out, when they're nice and clean, you feel good about it. You take care of it maybe a little bit better that time.
Well, sure, yeah.
And, like we talked about the roof, and I think windows came up, improve that energy efficiency, cut down your
that's
bills a little bit.
Yeah, right, because windows, I think, they're pretty high on the list,
They
like
were pretty
thermal
high.
windows and stuff, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And even, like, just little stuff like a garage door and stuff, if you do put an insulated door versus a not, you do save some energy that way as well, too. But, that's cool. Yeah. Okay.
And so I kind of want to focus on that third reason. It's
What's
people
that?
are going to sell within the next 2 years.
Yes,
so,
we like
like
that
Jim
reason.
said, as agents, what are you, those
What do we tell people?
Yeah, what do we tell people?
Yeah, I tell. Well,
What do you tell them?
Well, number one is paint.
Paint the whole.
To me,
yeah.
paint. Well, here I'll
A
just.
fresh coat of paint goes a long way.
I'm not even looking at your list, but paint and floors are to me the two, especially hardwood. Like refinishing your hardwood floors gives a good bang for the buck, in my opinion, and paint gives a good bang for the buck, and even a roof. I think a roof.
A roof is a good one. Yeah.
Because and did I get any of them correct?
You got the
I got at least
paint
2.
and you got the roof.
Okay,
Flooring was not on our top
Really?
5.
Okay. Well. Okay. I still believe it, but that's okay.
No, I don't disagree. And
But that's what realtors recommend. Painting the house
paint.
for sure. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And
it's just neutral. It's clean. Any buyer comes in, they don't have to worry about doing that. They can just move their furniture, and if they want to upgrade colors and give it a little personality, they can do that down the line.
Yeah, and then you that fresh paint smell. I mean, there's nothing better than that. And like you said, there's nobody wants to, because I've done it before where I've had, houses. Somebody's got their house painted a certain color and they loved it, but nobody else loved it. And it showed. So,
and sometimes,
if
it's a kid's room, you want the kid to, be able to enjoy their room while they're still living there. And but sometimes it's pink and yellow and bright and bold. And, if you have a, say you have a little girl and she has a pink room, but the next family only has boys, well.
Yeah, and nobody wants to have to paint that.
Well, no, that's a lot of primer.
Nobody does. Nobody wants to paint that. So yeah, that's a big one. That's
Yeah.
for
It's
the
either
realtor's
painting
perspective.
Yeah,
painting
paint the entire house is number one.
Yeah,
Painting
yeah.
one interior room came in at number two
Yeah,
for
okay.
the top realtor. But again, if it's just one room, like you said, that kid's room, or
That's not bad.
just, an accent wall just needs to get
Yeah.
neutralized in the nicest way. And then roofing came in at number 3.
Okay.
A kitchen upgrade, which we talked about a couple times. So
Yeah, that's
kitchens are a
pretty
big
popular.
one.
Yeah, that's popular all around.
And then a bathroom renovation was number 4
And
or
then,
5.
Again, pretty popular all the way around, so that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, good deal. All right, and then kind of I think this is important, is like,
Yeah.
how do people pay for this,
Oh, yeah.
right? And so the number one was a home equity line of credit. 54% of the people pay, and that is a smart move these days. And if you think about why that might be, right? So we already talked about people staying in their houses a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Most of those people, not most, but a high percentage of those people are staying in their houses because of what?
Interest rates.
Their interest rate they got, right?
They got that 3%.
Yeah,
And
they got a 2.75
sometimes it's
or
a little
something.
hard to see that double.
Yeah.
But again,
But a home equity line of credit, ever since the COVID, essentially, home prices have improved, right? We've talked about this over several shows, how much that's been.
upwards of 50%.
Oh, yeah, if not maybe more,
More.
right? So everybody's got equity in their house these days. So why not tap into that a little bit and get the enjoyment or get the projects that you need done? So
Yeah.
home equity line of credit is the best one.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's probably, as far as thinking about having to pay in interest a little bit, that's probably the cheapest.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hopefully. The second would just be savings, right? So people actually put their money aside and then they
down.
did their project. That's the best way, I think, probably.
Yeah.
But then number 3, and this will make you cringe a little bit, was credit card. So, some people are paying 25% interest on those nice renovations they did because they put it on their credit card. So be careful there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how people are paying for it. And I think that's important. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to know for sure. But definitely, I think the home equity line of credit is a good choice if you can do that.
If you can do it, yeah.
Makes sense, right? And the other issue there is the value of your house is going up
Yeah.
when you're putting money in it, so you should be in good shape.
Should be in good shape
So,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's how they're paying for it. Now, who's doing that work? Because not everybody's as handy as Jim over here rehabbing a house once a year sort of thing. So 29% hired a professional to do 100% of the job. So
Okay,
a professional
smart.
did all of it. So
Yep.
29% there, which
Okay.
makes sense. I mean, you have work and you have a life, and
Oh, yeah.
some of these projects are, once you get into a project, if you've ever done one before, you quickly learn that something else
good
needs to
God.
happen before you can move on.
I know that I've had that happen a million times.
I'm sure.
Just tear a wall open. Anytime you ever do that, there's something you didn't think about. It's going to be back there. I don't care what it is.
No. So then tied at 24%. So number 2 and number 3 is completely did everything oneself, labor and purchase materials.
Okay.
So those are the pretty handy people there.
Yeah, yeah.
Tied for that is people who hired the labor but purchased the materials.
Okay,
So
that
they
makes-
just paid for
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's good.
And then
But you're still having a pro do it, which
Yeah.
is, that's probably a smart idea for most people.
yes.
But like you said, there are, some, like
you
I can
can
do,
watch
I
a
know
lot of
enough
YouTube
to be,
videos.
I know enough to be dangerous. And but I can do some stuff. And,
Yeah.
and,
But there's also some projects like you don't really want to fully redo.
No, and I don't have the time to do a lot of that
No.
stuff. So that's why we hire a lot of that out.
Yep. And then number 4 contributed to some DIY projects.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so, a fresh coat of paint goes a long way. Yeah, you can hire someone to do that for you. Again, if you're a super busy person or if you're not.
Yeah, but if you want
That
to save a
great.
little dough,
Dough.
that's the kind of stuff you do, right? You do
exactly.
the kind of more easier stuff. Although some people just they hate painting. I
love
love
painting.
it. I don't mind.
Painting's fun. You put your headphones in and you just
Yeah, I like
ignore
it.
the world and
I don't
paint your
mind.
trim.
Yeah, and then
Cutting
when-
into.
There's nothing better when you're done painting a room and you look back and you go, "Wow, that really
Look how
looks
nice
good."
that looks.
Yeah, so you pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. And then I have another number because, like we just talked about, sometimes projects you get into it and it goes a lot longer than you anticipated.
Yeah, that's never happened to me.
No, well, and it's kind of interesting. It's right at a near perfect split almost,
Right?
where 31% and 31% said it either took more time or less time than they originally anticipated for the repairs.
Really?
And then 37% said it was about the same as the amount of time they had planned. So some,
Wow.
the majority of people, their projects are going as smoothly as they were
Right.
anticipating.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome for you guys.
Yeah, good. That's really good. I don't usually have that happen to me, but that's okay. It's a whole nother
Sometimes
story.
you get lucky.
That might be a whole nother show even. I don't know.
Just Jim's projects that took a little bit longer than expected.
Well,
We got a couple
yeah,
of stories
yeah.
about
Yeah,
that.
that's okay. Anyway, all right. We don't have to go there.
We can't know. A different podcast,
Please
maybe.
don't go there.
And then let's see, what else do we got? So I guess, once that project's done, would you have, hopefully you love it. You have that joy-in factor right at 100%.
Yeah.
But sometimes you kind of look back and you go, ooh, maybe I could have done that a little
yeah.
differently. So
Yeah.
I got some statistics on that as well.
Okay. What
And
do you got?
thankfully, 46%, so almost half of people said they would do it exactly the same way
that's good.
if they were to
Okay.
do the project again.
All right. Good.
30% said they would have chose different colors, materials, finishes, or appliances.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And
okay.
some of that
1 out of
can
3.
be little, some of that can be easy to fix. Especially if it's paint,
Well, yeah.
It's not fun to do a fresh coat of paint, but if you chose
If you
a
just
certain
put the
color
wrong
cabinet,
color, you can change that.
Yeah,
But you
or-
can't change the.
so you can't always change finishes, and
Right.
you can't always change appliances unless you're
Right.
selling and buying new ones. But
Yeah, that
that's
makes
just an
sense.
extra step there.
Yeah. Right.
23% they said they would use a professional. So I guess that's the group that did some of the handyman stuff themselves, and 23% said they would use a professional to do that project, and 1% said that they would spend that money somewhere else. So I'm glad
So
that's low.
everybody's-
Most
yeah,
people
right.
are enjoying their
Sure. Yeah. that makes
their
sense.
projects as they should.
Yeah, that's cool. Good.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll just put just a side note that is not in any of the information we looked about, but here in our area, you sometimes do have to worry about like getting that permitted in certain
True.
areas that you. So depending on the project that you do, I would just
How
say
extensive.
consult with your municipality. If you're hiring a contractor, consult with them about do I need to, those
Get
type
a
of things
permit.
relative to permitting. So that's
Yeah.
an important thing too.
That again could be a whole nother podcast
That could be
conversation.
another-
we probably should do that on
Yeah,
kind of some
that probably would be a
big
good
ticket
idea.
permitting ones.
Yeah, so just kind of keep
But
that
every
in the back of your head.
municipality is different, so
Yeah,
just
a
know
lot of
that.
differences
And
there. Just wherever you live, just maybe check that out
Yeah.
before you dive in too deep.
exactly.
That's just my advice there. So
All
right.
So if you're planning to either do a home renovation project and you need some help on what should you do, what
Yeah.
shouldn't you do, or
who.
even if you're looking for
looking for somebody who can help you.
feel free to reach out to us. We got
Absolutely.
some great local connections here in the St. Louis area.
Yep.
And if you're in that one group that says you're thinking about moving in the next 2 years and what projects do we do to get ready for it so you're
That's
not
important.
scrambling at the last minute,
Yeah.
give us a call. We'll help
Start
you
now.
plan that out.
Absolutely, we'd be happy to come over and chat and kind of give you our 2 cents on what can help you the most. All right,
I think that's it.
good show.
Perfect.
That's good
Awesome.
information. I hope that's useful for everybody.
Have fun doing some projects in the future.
Get that paintbrush out. Start painting.
Exactly. All right, folks, have a good one.
See you later.
That's it for this episode of Getting Real with Real Estate. We hope you learned something new, had a laugh, and feel a little more confident in your real estate journey. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Kempf Team for local insights, listings, and a real look at what it's like behind the scenes in real estate. Have questions or a topic you want us to cover? Reach out anytime at 314-336-1926. And don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or YouTube so you never miss an episode.